to give us that info because we get all of our info through them.
So how would I get notified?
We will be doing outreach when that happens. Our office will be posted on social media. We'll probably do some phone calls. We'll do some emails and stuff. We're going to let everyone know as soon as we get the word. But just right now, it takes a little bit longer to find out things, especially because the budget doesn't get confirmed until the end of June. So it was just confirmed. So now Treasury is getting down, doing everything possible to make sure that we get ready as soon as possible.
And I just want to interject too. If you did previous years, you'll get something by mail or email.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank
you. So first, I'm going to go over Stay NJ. Stay NJ is the newest program within the 3 that you can apply for. This reimburses applicants for 50% of the property tax bill or $6,500, whichever is less. Eligibility requirements include that you must have owned and lived in your house for a full 12 months in 2024 and have an income below $500,000. Properties under pilot are eligible. Pilot is a payment in lieu of taxes program. If you're part of it, you can apply for this. If you're not, if you don't know what it is, you're probably not on it. You will sign up for that as your municipality. And then mobile homeowners are not eligible for this. Renters are also not eligible for this program. How this program works compared to Senior Freeze and Anchor. If you are eligible for Anchor and Senior Freeze, you are not going to be receiving Stay NJ. Stay NJ is kind of like an extra program if your income is higher than the other two, if that makes sense. So it's kind of like a little bit of an extra thing if we want to make sure that all households will be eligible for some sort of tax reimbursement. But that's kind of why mobile homeowners are not part of it. We just want to make sure that only those who are going to fit in that system can get in from it. So we're next going to go over Senior Freeze. So Senior Freeze program reimburses eligible senior citizens and disabled persons for property tax or mobile home park site fees increase from their personal residence. So basically, the first year you apply for Senior Freeze, you are establishing your base year. That is going to be the year that they're going to calculate your reimbursement from. So your first application, if you're a first-time applicant, your base year will be 2023. And then homeowners and mobile homeowners are eligible for Senior Freeze. So your first year, you've had to apply for Senior Freeze and to get that reimbursement, you have to be 67 this year. The reason for that is because your base year, if it's your first time applying, is going to be 2023. So you've had to have been 65 by 2023. So you can apply this year, you can get some of that moving, you can get some of the programs started, but you just won't see the reimbursement for a few years. So they need to establish that base year. The taxation department needs to know, okay, this is my first year, this is what I'm basing it off of. Every year after that is when I'm going to see that change because the reimbursement specifically. So they're going to basically take your first year and then they're going to subtract it from whatever your tax is in 2 years, 3 years. So whatever the difference is, you're going to get that as a reimbursement. So let's say your taxes 1 year, I'm going to make up a very random number, was $1,500. And then the next year it is $1,750. You're going to get a check for $250 because you're getting that difference. It's the difference between them. So that way you're basically paying whatever your first base year is. Does that make sense to everyone?
That's when you had to be 65 to 2020.
Yes. To apply to get the Senior Freeze benefit, you had to be 65 then.
So if you just turned 65 this year, it's just you're just going to register.
You're just going to register. You're not going to get the check. Yes.
So 2 years from now,
you'll start to get the benefit. Yeah. It's just because you need that base year. They need to know kind of like the first time it's happening. They need to see what your taxes are going to become in order to really understand and to get you that bonus the way that it's meant to, if that makes sense. But it's good but we want you to apply that first year you can, just so that way you can get the amount of money possible. Definitely apply this year. Because if you apply with the lowest number you have, 8%. Oh my goodness. And then Senior Freeze, I know, is kind of one of the more confusing programs. I think they established this 2 years ago, but kind of why we're trying to explain what it is because
in other words, you pay your property taxes, whatever it is, and then somewhere along the line,
yes,
we'll reimburse.
Yes. All of these are reimbursements. So after you pay property taxes, you're then going to get them later. Um, Partially it's because again the budget doesn't get confirmed until June in New Jersey, so they can't. All of these programs are based on the budget passing. Thankfully, for this fiscal year, the budget was passed in full for us. So none of our programs were cut, and they were passed the exact way we were hoping they would. So we say thank you, and we're happy. Love my policy directors for making that happen, so I don't have to redo this whole slideshow.
So you get a reimbursement check from
Yes,
New Jersey.
from the Division of Taxation. Yes.
When approximately do those come?
So it depends. We don't have an exact timeline yet. Because the budget was again just passed about like 14 days ago. Taxation is still kind of trying to figure out all the nooks and crannies of when they're sending out those checks. But usually senior freeze is the first one sent out. I believe senior freeze, they try to send them out by like, I think around this time, like between like middle end of July to like August. But if you're applying later, you can apply later, they just take your check later. If that makes sense.
So we should have got,
Right.
They haven't been sent out yet. We have not been told that they've been sent out.
but if we had applied for the.
But if you've applied, then it will hopefully come in soon. We just have not been given a direct timeline yet because they're still figuring out their system on their end. And they don't want to give up the wrong information. But we're hoping to get word very like any time now.
The fiscal year just ended at the end of June. The new year is just starting July 1st. So you might not even see or hear anything till September, October. This is when organizations get their funding, grant programs, just starting.
Yeah, everything kind of changes in the New Jersey government at the end of June. So like yeah, they said like we're hoping things will get moving very quickly, but because the funding was just solidified less than 14 days ago, and there's a few people who applied for the programs already. You already in the room. They just kind of need to figure out all the nooks and crannies, but they are working on it, and we're hoping to get some directive very soon. And once we do, our office does a lot of outreach. I don't know if you guys received the senior freeze calls that we do, but senior freeze calls. So we're going to try and do calls just for Anchor. We're going to try and make sure that our constituents know what's going on as soon as we're made aware.
So if you were in term before, the regular anchor, and now you're applying here, will it know the difference? That
You'll just have to you'll just apply for PAS 1. You'll apply for the new program, and it should be good.
So I'm 66 and a half. Should I bother to apply for the senior freeze at this point?
Homeowner or
Homeowner.
apply for it. Apply
Okay.
for it as early as you can, and we're going to go over the application. That's what we're doing now.
But what about the 50% one that you just went over too? Does that, do you get all of those or just one of them
So basically-
plus the anchor? I don't,
So how it works is you'll get either senior free, so you'll get senior freeze and anchor, or you'll get stay NJ. Stay NJ is kind of like that little extra program, but it's only for those whose income is higher than the one than you would be if you get into senior freeze or anchor. So I'm going to go over the here. These are the income requirements for senior freeze. So if you make the $163 $50 or less, or $168 $260 or less for 2024. So it's kind of for a higher income bracket ANJ because it gives you less than these programs try to.
wait, so your property must be so, the income limit
Yes.
is 168,000.
The goal of some of the programs are to reach different kinds of people, if that makes sense.
Right, but if limit, so it seemed like anybody up to 168,000.
That's what it means.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
So eligibility, again, you have to be 65 or older on December 31st, 2023, or receiving Social Security disability benefits on or before December 31st, 2023. You've had to live in New Jersey since December 31st, 2020 as a homeowner or a renter. And then you still lived in that home at the end of last year because based on last year's taxes and we love New Jersey. That's what one of these programs are, is to help you stay here. You leased in this for mobile home park, place the manufacturer of mobile home that you own since December 31st, 2020. And then saying you lived there on December 31st, 2024. So yeah, the point of the programs are to reimburse those who are staying in New Jersey, aka in my opinion, the best state of the union. So That's kind of why quickly this program has you need to have lived here for so long. Because those years, you need to make sure that they're consistent. You need to make sure that your taxes were going up and down, whatever it may be. And they want to make sure that you have
And that's for the senior freeze and the,
this is simply for senior freeze, this one. Yes, the anchor we're going to be going over now. So the anchor is common or also known as the Affordable New Jersey Community for homeowners and renters. So anchor provides a property tax relief to New Jersey residents who own or rent property in New Jersey as their main home and meet certain income limits. So this year's anchor is based on residency, income, and age for last year. All these programs again are based on last year's information. So again, this is a program for homeowners and renters. For homeowners, you have to be a New Jersey resident. You own and occupied a home in New Jersey that was your principal residence on October 1st, 2024. Your home is subject to property taxes, so you paid your property taxes, and your New Jersey gross income was not more than $250,000. So you have to make less than $250,000 in order to be a homeowner and get your anchor benefit. And now for renters, again, you have to be a New Jersey resident. You rented an occupied New Jersey residence as your main home on October 1st, 2024. Your name was on the lease or rental agreement. So if your lease is under, let's say your child's name, sadly, your child, you would have, the way you would apply for anchor is through the person who has that lease in their name. You paid rent, so want to know that someone's paying the rent on your house, or your apartment. The rental property is subject to local property taxes. So if you have any questions on that, I would definitely talk to your landlord because they're going to give you the best information to know if you're paying your property tax or if they're covering it. And then your 2024 gross income was not more than $150,000. So it's a little bit, it's lower than a homeowner. Okay. Seniors and disabled persons can apply for all three programs using your PAS1 2024 application. And then this kind of part gets a little bit confusing. So what counts as income? Let me just preface this. This page is only if you are a homeowner or a mobile homeowner. If you are a renter, you do not need to know what counts as income. You are now applying for a program that needs your income. This is only if you are applying for senior freeze and or stay NJ. The application says if you're a renter, you don't need to complete parts 1, 2, or 3. So what counts as income is going to be reported in your New Jersey 1040. The reason I simply ask for a New Jersey 1040 is because we want it to be from New Jersey. There is a US 1040. Anyone who files taxes files their US 1040. Only those, some people file your New Jersey 1040. If you do not file a New Jersey 1040, you do not need to answer questions that they are asking from that form. So if you have certain income and your accountant said, you don't need to file your entry 1040, congratulations. You don't have to enter in that info because you don't know. We're not going to ask you for it. We're not going to ask you to dig in. You're just going to do what you have available to you. So what counts as your income is your wages, any taxable interest income, your dividends, your net profit from any businesses, a taxable pension, annuity, IRA distribution, or withdrawals, tax exempt income, and again, Roth IRA rollovers, IRA distribution, and then your Social Security benefit. So the way that I like to have people kind of find, or the easiest way to figure out and to do the math on how to do your income is by going to the form directly. So we're going to go, everyone have a copy of the application? If you don't, I have copies right over there, the booklet or their paper copy. But my interns kind of passing out just so everyone can honestly just look at it in person, and it can be a little bit easier because then I can just show you exactly where it all is. Because that's what most of my systems are. They're the exact same thing. I just only have honestly, you ran out of all extras and paper.
so you're talking about the withdrawal of any rollover.
Yes.
Or IRAs.
So what I'm gonna have everyone do is go to the physical application. You're gonna find your application. It depends on where it starts. It might be the first page if you're in the blue book. It might be a little further down if you're in one of my printed copies. But yeah, we're gonna look at this first page that looks like this. You're in the printed copy, it might be at the very end. But it says enter your social security number, your spouses, and then filing, and it just says state of New Jersey application of property tax relief. So this front page is only, everyone applies for this page. All you need to do is enter your social security, your information, whether you're filing it single, married, qualifying widow. The next part is your age and disability for all people who are applying. So you're gonna write your birth year. And then if you're filing it with a partner, you're gonna file their birth year. 3A and 3B are very specific. Do you receive Social Security disability payment? So if you receive regular Social Security, the answer is no. If you receive Social Security disability, the answer is yes. This is because the application is for those who receive Social Security disability and those who are 65 plus, and they just want to know which category you fall into.
It's 5% disqualified village.
No, no, no. And then for 4A, you're just gonna do, did you own or live in the same personal residence from January 1st, 2024 to December 31st? Then yes or no. So we read at the bottom, it says, if yes, complete line 4B, if no, complete 5A. 4B, indicate the resident status of your 2024 and continue the appropriate schedule. Do not complete 5A and 5B. If you were answering 4B, do not do 5A and 5B. If you are a homeowner, you'll go to Schedule 1. If you are a mobile homeowner, you'll go to Schedule 2. If you are a renter, your application is done. That's all you need to do for a renter, is just that little part. And then, yeah, same information for private. Just enter your information that you have. So I'm gonna also now go over the homeowner section of it. So if you're a homeowner, stay with me, we're gonna go over that. So are you filing this application in the same place as last year's anchor? Yes. On December 31st, 2024, did you own and live in the same New Jersey residence that you occupied on December 31st or earlier? Yes or no? And then did you move to your current home between January 1st and December 31st, 2021, 2022? The answer is no for that. They want to trick you. You go, if you've lived in the same place for like 17 years, you do yes, yes, no. I don't know why they asked you in a very weird way if you moved. It's kind of confusing. I feel like they're tricking you. I don't make this, but so I'm trying to let you know. Yes, yes, no. And then did you live in a co-op or continuing care facility? Just let them know. 10A through 11B are kind of just like, did you share ownership of your house? How much percent? Are there multiple units? You're going to tell percentage that you own versus the other person. If you don't, just say no for 11A and 11B. For 10A and 10A and 11. Property tax. So on your property tax bill, it's going to show your lot and your block number. If you do not know these numbers, you're going to call the municipality. You're going to call your municipality. They can get you that answer very easily. So that's who you're going to call if you have problems with your property tax bill. Are you claiming any additional lots? No. So enter your 2023 property tax bill that your main home has prior. And then the way you're going to have that is you're going to ask property tax bill. If you don't, you're going to call municipality office. They're going to help you. If you have it, just write it down. That's going to be what they're basing your senior freeze on, is your 23 and 24 property tax bill, because they need to see, again, that difference. And then 15A, 15B is based on pilot program. If you have pilot program, how much you're doing to pilot. If you don't know, you'll know if you're in a pilot program. And then this is, again, the part that gets a little confusing, is your 23 and 24 New Jersey income worksheet A and B. So I'm going to bring up yes. So I'm going to take this, and then does everyone have also this checklist? If you do not, I'm going to have my intern pass it around and give it to everyone who's a homeowner. Homeowner can take it if you're not a homeowner. You don't need it, honestly. this is the EAS1 checklist of tax information. So for homeowners and mobile homeowners, again, you need that NJ 1040. If you are not required to file, you will report the amounts you did file in the return. For more information, you can follow that. Again, for 23 and 24, you're going to need the NJ 1040. You're going to need if you receive Social Security, we're going to need your 23 and 24 SSA 1099. That is where you file that is the piece of paper they send to you when you apply. Hey, what's a bid? That is like what they send to you at the end of the year for how much money you've made in Social Security. If you have any questions, if you don't know where to find that document, you're going to call, I believe it's in Eatontown, the Social Security office. You can just walk in and you're going to say, hey, I'm filing the form. And I have my SSA 1099, 23, and 24. They're going to print it out and give it to you. They're very easy when it comes to giving you that information. Love them. They're right in town. They're there from like 9 to 4 they close, but very easy to get a hold of them. They understand that a lot of people come in are just looking to fill out this application. So if you need that, you can go to them. And then any amount received of total or permanent disability, pension before you reach 65 in 23 and 24. The amount of any qualified distribution from a Roth IRA or the amount rolled over from a Roth IRA to another Roth IRA in 23 and 24. Again, if you file a Roth IRA, you'll know what to do. You should have that documentation. If you don't file a Roth IRA, congratulations. You have disability. Homeowners only. Again, that's where that 23 that property tax bill is from. If you have any questions on property tax bill, you're going to go to your municipality office. They will help you get that information. And then a mobile homeowner for 23, 24 annual site fee that you should get from your community with your mobile homeowners. They'll have that information for you. And then just kind of the last little bit on here. If you're filing for a deceased person, just make sure you send in a copy of death certificate into the tax department, just so they have record. But that kind of goes over some of the wages. I think that this is kind of a more stressful documentation of what you need. I find looking at this is a little bit easier because you know what you have, you know what you don't need. And then the way you're going to calculate it is we're going to go back to our blue book. So we're going to go back to our application. We're going to flip over to, find it. I believe for everyone, it's page 8 of your application. So it says worksheet A, 2023 income. So you're going to look at worksheet A. It says line A, New Jersey total income. You're going to go to where it says line A right here. Enter the amount from line 27. From your NJ 1040, so all you have to do is find your NJ 1040 with on line 27. Your tax interest income, again, all you have to do, go to line, I think it says 16B on the NJ 1040. Write it in, that's all it is. Your line C, you're going to go to line 20B on, again, the NJ 1040. If you have something written in, you write it in. If you don't, a lot of people don't have it. And then you're also going to, again, this is where you're going to add your annuity, your suitable pension, your IRA distribution and rollovers. You're going to have that access to that information. Your accountant or whoever does your taxes, you should have that information anyway. And then the last line is just your Social Security benefit, which again is from that SSA 1099. If you don't have it, you can contact again Eatontown for the Social Security office. And then you just add those numbers together. That's all it has to be. Again, it looks a lot more complicated than it is. That's why we try to kind of give you all the information up there, what counts, how to calculate it out. That way when you're doing it yourself, you can just say, I put line 27 on my NJ 1040, which I know I have from the checklist. Does that help everyone? Yes. And then how to apply, there's 2 different ways. So you can apply online at propertytax.nj.gov. Does anyone know what is called what's called an ID account if you've ever applied for partial disability or unemployment within New Jersey? I know I see a few heads turning. If you already have an account, I highly suggest just applying online. It's so easy because all you have to do is just enter in your information from the ID me and go in. If you do not know what an ID me is, I'm going to preface the website. It's a little bit annoying to make an account with ID me. You have to do a lot of security. They take a photo of your ID. It's basically a form of checks and balances with the government to make sure that you are the one who has access to your social security. They don't want someone else to have your social security number and use it to get their benefits. So it takes a little bit. You need a smartphone to do it. With a smartphone, I do recommend it will take about 15 minutes to set up your account. But once you set up that account, applying online is much easier because they kind of already send your information. Your information is already inputted into the application. You don't have to write anything out really. And what you can do direct deposit online. You cannot do direct deposit on paper. And once you hit submit, it automatically goes through. There's no issue with the mail getting lost. There's no issue with XYZ. So it's really simple. I do understand though that for some people, applying online is a little anxious. How you can apply on paper is just this application. You write everything in. In your application, there should be an envelope that has where to send it to. If you don't have that kind of envelope, you can, I think on the front of most pages, it shows you where to apply. You'll just put everything into an envelope, send it in, return address, all that you need to stamp. But that's how you can apply on paper. So what I'm trying to say is that applying online can make an account take longer to do, but you get confirmation that it was sent in immediately. As you know, recommendation.
So you go to that website to sign in with the real ID.
With the ID. You'll sign in with the ID name. And then if you already have an account, it'll probably send you a text message to say confirm this is you. You'll say yes. And then you do not have to redo everything. It's gonna go automatically in. That is the one perk of it is that if you already have an account, you've already went through making it. I just use it. It's gonna make your life so much easier. It's just a little irritating to make an account. And then the application deadline is October 31st, 2025. So Halloween. Yeah. And for assistance, you can call our office. But that is the end of my presentation. I hope I didn't confuse you all. I hope I actually helped you all. I don't know if I did. I know that there's a lot of math. There's a lot of numbers. It's a little scary. So it's kind of why we try to talk and connect with you guys. I see a hand over here. Yeah.
So these programs that are here now, possible new governor coming in. New governor. So I turn 65 next year. So do we really kind of have to keep an eye on? Are these programs happening for a while? They get stated for, hey, these are lasting 5 years, or is it really just kind of year to year?
So each year they are based on the budget passing, and that they're funded fully. I can't tell you that it will be 100% the exact same amount. I can tell you that here in LD11, we are fighting to make sure that every year we are funding programs as much as possible, and that if that's what we want to make sure that you guys get access to this. I cannot promise, sadly, just based on the nature of our government, that I can tell you, I don't think they're ever going to actually cut any of these programs. I don't think they're going to do it because that'd be my but I cannot promise the amount that they're going to give. But honestly, that's why that's why our legislators are fighting to make sure that we are continuing to fund these programs fully like we did this year.
So, is there a way that, as we are part of this, that we can help out to make our voices heard as these budgets are up? How do we get involved? Is there a way to get through you? That group?
Yeah. You can always call our office. We love to hear from our constituents. I think that's what you're saying.
Well, no, I want to say, is there any way we can help to make sure that the budget, it doesn't go any limit? Is there anything we can do as people who are putting you?
I would say advocating. You call, I said, I know it's stupid, calling your senators. I know we're going to do it. We're going to do it. Sadly, I can't talk about. I don't know if you're asking about election stuff. I sadly can't. No. Okay. I just wanted to say that's just the one thing I can't talk about because we are the government office. But I think the kind of like what we always recommend is just honestly sending us emails, calling us, and making sure there's not. I don't know if I can really give you any more.
I think what he's asking, because this is based on budgetary year to year to year.
Yeah.
Fortunately, we haven't had the recent constraints.
Mhm.
So you just have to keep praying that the budget is consistent the way it has been and just keep going.
Yeah,
So the anchor is not a new piece.
Oh, yeah, no, I know.
Yeah, but some of this is just some variations on what's been going on that because the budget has been so good,
Mhm.
just keep on.
You know,
Yeah, because
Yeah.
budget is, you may want to keep it, but budget is based on budgetary needs.
yeah,
So that's what it is.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We're gonna try. Our office is we're committed to making sure that we continue these to be fully funded. There's no way that we're gonna allow it to just change. If anything happens, I can tell you better. Part of the nail, it's like we got your fault, our cabinets, but we're gonna do what we can. We just can't give any promises just because it's based on budget and things that are. We can't just.
So this might change with the 2026.
Well, 2026 is still at 520. The 2026 budget is what passed. So these numbers that I gave you are what's happening.
So that's the big bill.
That is completely separate. That's state. So that will make it. Nothing federal is going to affect this. That's maybe what I'm trying to say. Federal is a completely separate issue that has nothing to do with these programs. These programs are funded only by state budget, and the state passed that these programs are here to stay for the year. So I hope that we can't. It has nothing to do with the federal budget. That's something that. But thankfully, this is good.
What's the difference between the application in the back and the one in the front?
It's the same.
Pardon me?
It's the same. They just give you two.
You have to send both in, or?
You just have to send one in case it's the same.
Okay, I was reading it and I'm saying, what am I missing?
Oh no, it's literally the
Exact
exact.
same thing.
It's just the exact same application. They just want to be safe and sorry in those booklets.
Okay.
Yeah, how does the senior freeze program work for a renter? I understand you explained about,
It's not eligible for renters.
but, it's not?
Yeah, senior freeze is only for homeowners and mobile homes. The only application as a renter you're applying for is the anchor.
Okay.
That's why we're That's why
That was confusing then.
Sorry?
That just was confusing
Yeah,
then.
I'm so sorry about that. Yeah, that's why we
Okay.
try to.
So if I received reimbursement through the anchor program and I'm in the system and I get the application automatically.
You still have to apply this year with the EAF one, but your application is just that first page. You don't have to do any of the math. You just reapply this year.
Okay.
So this application is for the property tax relief, the one where they cut your taxes by 50%.
Well,
That's what this is, right?
all of them. So the application is for all the three programs in one.
Okay.
So you're applying for all three. The Treasury Department is going to see what categories you fall into.
Well,
And they're going to give you whatever. They're going to give you whatever program you make the most from. So if you make the most from staying J, they'll put you in staying J. If you make the most from senior frequent anchor, they'll put you in senior frequent anchors.
So I don't have to try to figure it out.
You don't have to figure it out, but they're gonna do it, and their goal is to get you the most amount as possible. So whatever is gonna get you that, they're gonna do it. There are certain income requirements, so if you fit within certain ones, so those that, but like, it's kind of just whatever, they're making sure you get the most amount of money possible, in whatever way you can do that.
And you have to apply before.
Yeah, so online or on paper before December 31st, which we have a lot of time. I'm really excited. I love Halloween. I'm on Halloween right now, but also I find it.
And you'll see the benefit, like say for the stay in New Jersey one. When will you see that benefit, like where it actually says that your taxes are half, or they're gonna send the money
It
back?
would be a check sent to you.
Or the checks.
It'd be a check sent to you, but we don't have those timelines yet, just because the budget was passed 4 years ago. So they're still figuring out the grants.
But it's proactive for 2025.
It's based on your 2024.
On 2024.
So it's based on your tax rate last year. Everything is based on your last year's taxes. You're just gonna get the check in 2025. So it's like your tax year, taxes you submitted at the beginning of this year or last year's taxes.
I see.
So this information is based on last year's taxes. You're just doing it all this year, if that makes sense.
I see. And then every year after that, do you have to reapply
But
every
right now,
single
we're
year?
saying yes, because it is a new program, that big change, but I am gonna say right now, we recommend applying just to say what they do.
I see. All right.
Thank you.
I have one question about the schedule one homeowners one. Is says what they're applying, no one think home with what is like, yeah. It says on the system, it's in 2024, it's wrong, and then she owns an occupied. I didn't move into the point.
I know, that is my response. Yeah, you have to be the people of the ANJ has to need to live in your home for longest. But if you're most likely to be applying for a term, and maybe you're redoing so it's all.
So that's mine's a yes, no, no.
Yes, yes.
So I'm still confused about the age thing. I don't know when I turned 65. I'm 66 and 3/4 now. So should I bother like doing this or is it?
Oh, yes, do it.
Because you said it, you get the base of your name of your taxes now, and then when you're eligible, it's 67.
So January 3rd of next year, I'll be 67.
So next year, at the end of next year, we will get something about.
It's better to apply earlier rather than later. So
That's what I was taxing every year. Yeah, I go with a lower number, and then the next one is later.
yes.
Okay, is that correct?
So I guess what I'm trying to figure out is, will I be getting a check for 2024?
You'd be getting up, you would like get your check back.
Okay, for 2024 or for 2020?
All this back now, there would be your.
But would I have to reapply for this? So why am I doing it this year? Do I
Because you're getting a base.
And you're establishing your base, you're as early as possible, because if you're, so let's say your taxes go up next year, once a year, get less
Thank
money back. But you wanna get as much money back as you can,
I see.
so apply earlier, you'll get that base year as low as possible. You know, where it's absolutely a good scenario. I've had one of my constituents ask me, like, why am I get your reach out? I called the tax station and they were like, well, the tax went down, your tax go down. It's don't see to get your reach out. But
Now, is this for, like, is it for your property taxes, period, like education taxes and municipal? Or is it just for municipal?
it's just your property.
I'm sorry?
It's not based on where it's located, it's your property.
Okay, that's good. So it's good. Okay, yeah.
It's not based, we're not looking at where it goes to. We're looking at how much you would pay.
All right, I see.
Yeah.
Okay, I see. Thank you. Okay.
Very good, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Slightly less scary than it was.
It's not so scary, I mean, good, thank you so much. Have a good day.
Thanks so much.
I got any questions?
What office are you with?
We're with Senator Bill Paul, a Sunday woman.
Oh, Victor Health Office.
Yeah, Senator Paul.
Oh, excellent. Okay, that's a little more approachable than calling the tax division or something.
Exactly. Taxation almost every day.
Okay, I just wasn't sure if I should go ahead and fill this out. I mean, I just don't, I'm a senior and it's like, but I guess I'm not really a senior.
You can, you'll still be applying for it. You'll still be applying for it.
Well, that I get it.
It's just a way of confirming you'll get anchor, and then it's a way of making more money in the future by applying now. And that's basically what we're trying to do. I want you to get the most money, the most amount of money possible, because I love your.
Taxes for it.
I know. Are you from around here?
I'm very close. I go up every year.